Well, I don't know if I chose Pekingese or if Pekingese chose me. When I was a young boy, I took a job working for a lady in Newark, Delaware that raised Pekingese and showed some toy dogs. And I fell in love with them and they fell in love with me. And we've made a great history together. It was a wise twist of fate. I've been breeding Pekingese for around 50 years now. My first litter turned out to be pets. We didn't hit the jackpot right away. We had to work hard to get to where we are, so, which is good. I always think it's better not to have beginner's luck because and then people get spoiled and they think, oh, there's nothing to this. And there's a lot of people, their first litter, they just like get good dogs. And, then they don't understand a couple litters later, well, what's gone wrong? So I think it's always, whatever you're doing in life, I think it's better to have to work for it. I mean, I started out, I was a kennel helper. I used to make $5 a day, and was happy to make it, because I just enjoyed being around the dogs. So I had to work my way up. I was just a quiet kid, I never even spoke. I just watched, I was taught don't talk to strangers, speak when you're spoken to, so I just watched everybody at the dog show, but I tried to take, you know, and learn good things from everybody. And, I would see Peter Green and I would see Mrs. Clark and I would see Jane Forsythe and I would see, other people that were the top breeders. And I thought, there's a reason they're good. It just didn't happen, and I think it's crazy not to try to learn from everybody. I learned how to groom Pekingese from watching my friends with poodles and watching people with terriers and different things and seeing all the little things they could do. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do a little bit of that with my Pekingese. And, you can. So it's important to be mentored by the whole dog show. Try to learn from everybody, not just one person, you know. It's all out there for you to learn from if you just open your ears and open your eyes. I got my original female from a lady called Alice Wilson from Wilton, Connecticut. And her name was Cherry Blossom of Winds. And I was just a kid, and she was kind enough to sell me her for $50. And she didn't really do much for me except provide a lot of love and, made me devote my life more to Pekingese because she was the best companion a teenage boy could have. She was great. She'd sleep with me. She'd put her head on the pillow. If you're having a bad day, she'd get a little closer. She was just perfect. And, years later, I bought a dog from a lady named Joan Milcreast, and his name was Coral Gable. And because I still was young, she only charged me $400. And that dog went on to win Group 1 at Westminster and was the top toy dog. And all of my dogs today come down from him on the bitch side, and there's a line going right back to Coral Gable. So between my original stock, the Yaki stock, incorporating the Palace Garden, I've really had like a trifecta of these great dogs that have, really clicked. I've had other friends that have tried to do the same thing and it hasn't quite worked for them. But with my original stock and then those other two lines, it just has reaped, many beautiful dogs. I think my breeding method now is more instinctual. There was a time, I would look at the pedigrees, and I still look at the pedigrees. But now I want to look at the dogs more, and I have for years. I just don't think there's any use of line breeding dogs if you're not getting the results you want. It's great to have a beautiful line bred pedigree, but if all that line breeding is a bunch of average specimens, what do you think you're going to get? So I would rather try to breed great dogs together that have some relation, but maybe not as closely related as a real line breeding, and try to, take my chances that way. I believe in breeding, type for type breeding. And, I just think if you breed for a certain type, if you breed good dogs to good dogs, in the end, it's gonna work, The qualities I look for in a stud dog are, I do want the dog to be well bred. I want the dog to have good health. I want the dog to have good temperament. I want the dog to have some qualities in excess that he can spare and pass on to his progeny. I want the dog to be a good mover. I want that dog to be a good show dog. I want that dog to enjoy being around people. I want the dog to have, the qualities that the standard lays out, but a little bit extra, you know. And I think those are the dogs that make your best stud dogs. They have to have some strength and some stamina, and that's what I look for. Puppies, I usually start training them to be show dogs right from when they, start walking around. I don't leave much to chance. I'll start putting them on a little table and, stroking them up so they get used to, standing. And then I like to take a litter of puppies out in the driveway. And, at 10, 12 weeks old, they think I'm their mother then. And they follow me around. So I try to get them used to walking alongside me, and they love it. They'll just walk up and down the driveway and follow me like, I'm the cat's meow. And, a little bit later than that, I can slip a little lead on one of the puppies and start taking some treats and everything, and they'll follow you around. If you can get your dog to be walking and following you at a young age before they get that stubborn streak, you often have it made. But you have to start young. If you wait till they're 5 or 6 months old, it's going to be a much bigger challenge. So that's basically what I do. And then when they're about 4.5 months old, if they've been fully vaccinated, I'll take them to some dog shows and let them just sit around and listen to things, and I'll take them for rides. So if I go to dinner at a friend's house, I'll take a couple puppies and, they get used to other people and other environments. Getting dogs show ready is basically just getting them exposed to the world and, having some basic show manners. I don't really train my dogs that much anymore. As long as they walk on a lead and stand, I figured the rest of it, is if they have good temperaments and they're well socialized, we'll learn the fine points on the job. It's just all been amazing. I can't, I just can't believe and we've had top dog in the country. My dogs have gone best in show at Westminster twice. We've had 8 Group 1s at Westminster. We've had, I think, 24 best of breeds at Westminster. In 2019, Wasabi won best in show at this great AKC show. Next year, he won best bred by Exhibitor in show. It's just, just brings tears to my eyes that we've been so fortunate. I always felt that if you put a lot of love and hard work into your dogs, you're going to get it back. It's just been a blessing that this all happened to me. I never could have dreamed that we'd have such a great life.